Welcome to another fantastic edition of the Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. Here on the Forum, we highlight interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within the school system and the Wilmington community. We have another lineup of incredible guests again today. First, we'll talk with Diane Reed about this year's Hoggard High School Band 5K and Fun Run. The goal of the race is to promote awareness of the importance of music education in all schools and to support the band programs at John T. Hoggard High School. Then we'll chat with Allison English from the North Carolina Azalea Festival. She'll be here to give us all the details that you need to know about this year's parade and festival events. And finally, to wrap up the show, Stevie Toole will tell us about the events and services over at the Disability Resource Center. It's another exciting edition of the Forum, and we'll get started right after this short break.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Rachel. She's cool.
Hey. Hey, could you watch the road?
Hey, could you watch the road?
Okay. All right, well, if we die in a car crash, I want to donate my eyes to my neighbor, Gary. He has a boat, and he sails all around the world. I would love to see that. I don't know if he actually needs eyes, but who would turn on a free pair of eyes, right? Who's that rich?
I am joined by some Hoggard Vikings this morning. To my close left, I have Jacob Treemstra, and to my far left, I have Diane Reed. They're here today to talk about the Band on the Run. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Very good. Diane, why don't you tell us, how did the 5K race come about?
Actually, a couple years ago, a band parent came up with the idea for a fundraising effort because, as you probably know, fundraising is a big part of funding the band program. And she went to Go Time and got some details. And because we weren't in the place to have it right then, last year was our first race and very successful. It was a lot of fun, but because of one band parent's idea, we're now on our second race this year.
So what would you say is the purpose of the race?
One is to, of course, raise funds for the band program. Sure. And over the last couple of years, we've been having to buy new drum equipment. We're also saving now for new uniforms coming in the next few years. But also to raise awareness of the importance of band and music and even the arts in the schools and how it impacts people's lives.
Very nice. Jacob, let's pick on you. What do you think makes this race stand out from others?
So probably the most obvious thing is we have a lot of musical groups playing around the track and a lot of feedback we've gotten from last year. A lot of people really enjoyed that. That was very new. We have things like music trivia. We have a big group of us at the end of the race. And I think it just adds its own little musical flair that really gets the word out about Hoggard Band.
How does the music trivia work?
So we've got little signs posted with music facts around the race, and for the people who are paying attention, we might have a little prize at the end for the person who learned the most about music that day.
Oh, very cool, very cool. How will the funds be used that we raised, Diane?
Well, some of them will be put in a savings for the new uniforms. Every about 10 years, the school needs new uniforms.
Agreed.
I know. and people don't realize how much that expense is. But it also goes towards the students traveling to different events. Like they have to go and perform. It's called MPA, and they go and get rated by judges. They also use the funds for marching band competitions. But it is all for the educational piece of the students.
Very good. Jacob, would you say that students are pretty active in the planning of the race?
Yes, actually I'm on a committee for planning the 5K, and me and two other people, we've been going around trying to get sponsorships. We're handling that whole music trivia thing. We've been organizing the groups. All the groups of students, they just learn the music themselves. They form the groups themselves. So I think it's really nice for us to be directly involved in the process of making this happen.
So when you're around the race course, are you in like your sections, or are you broken up into like
just little fun groups with
your
your
friends? Kind of like little pep bands, if you will?
Yeah, exactly. Just
fun.
Yeah.
Fun. How do you see the race benefiting the band leaders and the other students?
So I think obviously getting the funds to go to competitions and stuff. Also, it's really good, like we said at the beginning, to get the word out about Hoggard Band, and I think it represents a good image of us in the community, and I think it brings a nice reputation to band that we're out there and we're involved and we're having fun with all the people in the community, and I think that really positively impacts us as well.
I was just going to say, how does band impact you?
Yeah, it's really great, obviously, to play music. I've loved music since first grade and
what do you
whatever.
Play?
I played trombone in the band, and I also play piano, so music has always been a big
Nice.
part of my life. but also socially. I've made so many friends in band, and it's made high school such a great experience.
You know what I particularly like is that when you're a freshman, you start with band camp. You already know that campus 2 weeks before school starts.
Oh, yeah.
And would you agree that you have an immediate family?
Oh, it's just like that. You have a nice network of friends to navigate high school with.
And you learn how to participate with everything in a family. It's not always your best friend, but you know,
Right.
we all have to do what we need to do. Right. Are you a leader? You
Uh,
have a section leader? Or?
yeah, I'm a low brass section leader.
Okay, very good, very good. And you guys have MPA coming up?
Yes, that's in 1 week.
Ooh, excited?
Very
ready?
excited.
Are you guys ready?
Yes, ready is the best
Very
word.
good, very
Concert
good.
is tonight. Like
Yeah,
the
we have
concert.
a regular concert tonight for our parents and stuff. Yeah.
What else do you think is important for folks to know about band? If somebody out there has a child that's trying to decide. In fact, my youngest wanted to play strings, and we beat her up and told her no, she had to be in band. Bless her heart. It's the true story. When she was going to Roland
Yeah.
Bryce, she's like, well, maybe I'd like to be in strings. We're like, no. So she marched mellophone and played bassoon.
Yeah, well, marching band is definitely such a fun experience. It's so interesting to see football games and that kind of stuff from that perspective, really getting to participate with school spirit and all that stuff, yeah.
Very good, because you guys are an important part.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some Hoggard alumni football players. I can remember when we went to the state competition in
2007?
Yes, okay, that would be about right. One of the, Brandon Miley, I think
Okay.
was his name. He actually was quoted in the newspaper that he wanted to sit by the band. That as a player, he was always on the field and heard the band.
Right.
Right.
But watching the game the next year, he wanted to sit by the band because it was always a lot of fun.
And you know, I would like to add, because I see emails from students who graduated 15 years ago, 20 years ago, telling them how important band was to them and how they stayed in school or stayed involved and how it has really impacted them in college and after as
Right.
well.
And I would even offer up and ask you if you agree, having a leadership role really is formative. You learn how to be on time. You learn how to make sure everybody else is on time. What are some other things you think you take away from being a leader?
So I think it's interesting to learn the dynamics of leadership where you can't be too hard on people, pushing them, but you also have to be firm. So I think it's interesting to find that balance, and it really helps you with your people skills, and you're all with your peers, so you can't put yourself on a pedestal and try and tell them what to do. So I think it's really good for navigating life. You know, you're out there with a lot of other adults, and you can't just put yourself on a pedestal and tell everyone else what to do. So I think it's really good preparation for that.
Gotcha. What about going out and looking for sponsors? Is that something you hadn't
Oh,
really
yeah.
done before?
That's-
And that's a very adult thing to do.
This year I had to start doing that, and that's stepping out of my comfort zone, but it does,
For most people it is,
Yeah.
so don't feel bad.
but it does breed a sense of accomplishment, and I wouldn't have gotten that outside of band.
Very good. Well, Diane and Jacob, thanks for joining us. And the run is March 30th.
March 30th,
I
8:30
remember.
a.m.
Hugh McCrae Park.
Hugh McCrae.
Which is
Yes.
pretty cool. And you get to hear all these instruments and maybe win some trivia.
That's right.
Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My next guest is Allison English, and she's the executive director of the North Carolina Azalea Festival. Allison, if you've lived in Wilmington for a year, you know what it is. But tell us how you have a tie-in with New Hanover County Schools.
Absolutely. So we love promoting the festival to children. We love having children involved in the festival. So there are so many ways that we partner with and work with New Hanover County Schools. One of which we are adding a chalk challenge this year, Friday of the Azalea Festival. So the streets are closed off for all of our street fair vendors to get ready, and we would like to create some sidewalk chalk areas where people can come and just create some positive messages for all of the guests that are coming in. And New Hanover County Schools are doing a chalk challenge where each high school's art club is going to design their own little area, and then there's going to be a little challenge to see which one kind of comes out on top. So we're really excited about that.
Lots of fun.
Yes, absolutely. And then of course we have a scholarship pageant that is held in March of each year for high school juniors. Many students from New Hanover County participate in that. The Azalea Festival is the second top scholarship producer for a scholarship pageant, and second only to the Miss North Carolina pageant.
Oh,
So
nice.
we give out over $12,000 in college scholarships. So that's another way that we give back and kind of support New Hanover County school students.
Gotcha. What's new this year?
We are so excited. In 2 weeks, on Saturday, March 23rd, we are having our first annual Paws on Parade, which is in partnership with Paws for People, another nonprofit. And it's going to be a full day, doggy day at the park. So it's at Greenfield Lake Amphitheater. There's a 5K, there's a 1 mile fun walk. There's going to be food vendors, arts and crafts, pet vendors, and then we're also doing a canine court pageant. So you can enter your dog to be the king or queen of the Azalea Festival, and those dogs will be participating in the Azalea Festival parade come April as well. So
Fun. Well, that's different. King of the Court. Tell us about the main stage concerts.
yes, we have a great lineup this year at the main stage. So on Thursday night at the Azalea Festival, country act Tyler Farr will be playing with opening act Josh Phillips, and he is an up-and-coming country artist, younger guy. It's great fun music. Friday night, we will be having country legend Hank Williams Jr., who will be performing with us. Frank Foster is opening for him. And then we just announced last week that on Saturday night, rapper and producer Ice Cube will be performing with us. So we kind of have a little bit of everything for everyone, and hope you come out. Tickets are going super fast, so if you want to come, please get those tickets now. Would love to see you there.
So we know about the parades and all the fun stuff and the pageants, but at the end of the day, what is the mission of the North Carolina Azalea Festival?
Yeah, so the mission of the Azalea Festival is kind of twofold. The number one part of the mission is our economic stimulus. So it is our intent to create an economic boom for the area, for the region during those 5 days. And UNCW did an economic impact study in 2011 and came back that the festival generates over $50 million in economic stimulus each Azalea Festival. So that's money that's going back into our hotels, our restaurants, it's going into our clothing stores, it's going into our hairstylists as women are getting their hair done for different events. And all that money just goes to help support the community. So that's our number one goal and our number one mission. And then the second part is volunteerism. So we have over 1,000 volunteers that donate their time, their services, their talents to help make this event a bigger and better event for the community, which only goes to drive more economic stimulus. So it's all kind of a ripple effect.
Gotcha. How do people get involved?
Excellent question. So on our website, which is www.ncazaleafestival.org, there's a volunteer tab, so you can sign up to be a volunteer there. We have an event the Saturday prior to the festival called Azalea Sweep from 10 a.m. to noon, where we literally just take volunteers downtown and clean up the streets, clean up trash, because we want the city to look the best when all of our guests come here. So that's an easy way to get involved. You can volunteer for that. You can volunteer for the street fair, for the parade, for numerous other events. So you can volunteer, you can come to the events that's supporting the festival as well, or even sponsoring the festival. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we have to raise all of our own funds through sponsorships and ticket sales, so people are always able to get involved that way as well and support.
So we talked about the mission, but how did the Azalea Festival ever get started?
So it started back in 1948, was the first Azalea Festival, and Dr. Houston Moore and Hugh Morton and some other civic leaders in town got together and really wanted to have an event to drive the economic stimulus for the area, right? So they figured what better time to do it than in spring when Wilmington is full of beautiful azaleas, full of beautiful colors. So they held that first Azalea Festival in 1948, and now we are celebrating our 72nd Azalea Festival. We're very excited. In just a few short years, we'll be celebrating our 75th Azalea Festival. So that's going to be a monumental occasion for the festival and for the whole city of Wilmington.
So you're probably already thinking about that, aren't you?
We are. We've already had a meeting on it.
Nice.
We formed an advisory committee, so if anyone's interested in that, we would love everyone and anyone from the community's help to make this a bigger and better festival in 2022.
Very good. What else do you think folks should know about the festival?
Sure. So we actually are a 5-day long event. So we start on Wednesday, April 3rd and go all the way through Sunday, April 7th. A lot of people, when they hear the Azalea Festival, they might just think of the street fair. They might just think of the parade. But we have a boxing competition that brings in boxers from over 7 different states. That's all day on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a coin show. There's down at our street fair, we have multiple stages of entertainment. So one area that we're really proud of is our multicultural stage. And all day Saturday, all day on Sunday, there's over 15 different performances from different ethnic groups in full costume with their original ethnic costuming. And it's just really cool to get down there and experience different cultures and see how all of that plays into our community here in the Cape Fear. And then we also have an amazing children's area as well at the street fair. The Navy will be with us this year. It's going to be Wilmington's host to one of 14 Navy weeks happening throughout the year.
Oh.
So Wilmington is going to be one of those hosts during the Azalea Festival. So it's looking like we might have a Navy helicopter down in the children's area this year that kids can kind of look at and get up close and personal with. So that's really cool too.
Nice. Lots of things going on.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Well, thank you, Allison, for coming by and giving us all the details. I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Be free. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad.
Charles!
Nice, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
I have Stevie Toole with me. She is the Youth Transition Coordinator for the Disability Resource Center. First of all, Stevie, tell us what kind of services are available.
Information and referral, and kind of what that is somebody will call in and they'll ask questions, and usually we just refer them out to another company. Like say they need a ramp built, and we might refer them to another business that would help to build a ramp. And then we also have life skills training, peer support, and advocacy, and also transition services. And there's 2 different pieces to that. There's youth transition as well as the nursing home transition kind of piece as well. It's kind of 2 parts.
So what is your particular position and what do you do?
The youth transition, that's my piece, and I help with teaching students how to advocate for themselves, job skills, life skills, and typically the setting I go out to is schools and post-secondary settings, such as I've worked with transition foundations. I've worked with other organizations as well as the school system.
So what else besides the book club is coming up?
I know that there's another event coming up with, you can contact actually Billy Eno, and he could give you some more information on that. I can't remember the title of it. And the number there is 910-815-6618, and you can contact Billy Eno and he can give you some more information on that. That'll be coming up soon.
Okay. So what do you do with some of the young people? You talked about how you're the transition coordinator. Do you help them from high school out? Do you help them find work? What specifically?
I work with as young as middle school age, and that's typically with Oasis. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's a school for students with autism. They do amazing work there, and then also go out to the high schools and some things like we teach them about self-determination, disability disclosure. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's teaching them how and when it's appropriate to disclose their disability. And also in different settings, because different settings like the job, as well as social settings, and as well as, just in school, and in general, or with the, in different things. It's just when that's appropriate. And as well, when we're talking about life skills, we're talking about time management, money management, getting ready basically for the real world kind of thing, those kinds of things. And then employment is kind of helping them prepare for interviews, kind of helping them get their resume ready, think about some of the clubs and hobbies that they do, about what career track do they want to go on, and those kinds of things. Because if you think about it, things that you enjoy to do, is actually somewhere where your career path may lead you.
Right.
And you just don't realize that, and the young people don't realize that until we start talking about it, and they're like, oh, I can make a career out of this? You know, and then they get pretty excited because it's like, oh, I already like doing this.
So you go into the high schools and you meet with them and kind of talk about what they want to do and then maybe help them with a path?
Yeah, well, basically it just depends on the different groups. I kind of tailor each one of my classes to that particular group and what the needs are, and I kind of speak, you know, ask the students and get their feedback, as well as speaking with the teachers and getting their feedback and kind of, you know, like I said, tailoring it to that group and what that group needs. So there's nothing that's cookie cutter. It's kind of, we have the basic three things that I had spoke about, but it's kind of the needs of those students to help them progress to their next stage. You know, and what I do with the freshmen and the sophomores is going to be totally different than what I'm going to do with the 11th, you know, the juniors and seniors.
Because you're getting them ready to transition out.
Exactly, and then with the post-secondary sites that I go to as well, you know, that's going to look totally different. It just depends on the age group of where they're at in their transition process. Okay. So.
Do you go to the work sites at all? Not so much? You just kind of help before then?
Yeah, kind of before then. Work sites is kind of a whole different entity.
Okay. And did you say you serve 5 counties?
Yes, ma'am. We serve New Hanover, Brunswick, Pender, Onslow, and Columbus County. So if there's anybody out there that would like those services, talking about the teachers and any educators or things like that that would like us to come out and do an event or come out and have me come do a class, feel free to contact us. And I think you'll have the contact information.
Sure. Yeah. How can someone help out?
The biggest thing is volunteering. We always could use volunteers for anything from clerical kind of work to helping with special events, to any number of things. Just, we have an application, you come in, you fill it out, and we kind of, there's a whole part in there we ask kind of what your interests are. And then we have a volunteer coordinator, her name Sarah Hartz, and she'll kind of match you with a position of a need that we have and something that you would also enjoy doing.
Do you feel like for some of your special events that perhaps some of the high school students could help out for Beta Club hours or National Honor Society hours?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't see why not.
There'd be that kind of opportunity?
I wouldn't see why not. I mean, we've never had that question approached, but I mean, I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, like a one-time thing. Obviously, they couldn't do clerical work every day or something, but
yeah,
it might be an opportunity to help out.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you brought that up. That's not something we've thought of, but I don't see why it couldn't be an opportunity.
And lastly, how can someone find out more about the DRC?
They could actually go to our website, and it's drc-cil.org, or they can call us at 910-815-6618 and just kind of talk to the receptionist and just let them know what their needs are, what they're interested in, whether it's volunteer or whether they actually have a need. And all our services are free, so there's no charge. Just to give us a call, and we will help the best that we can, and we'll direct you in the right direction.
Well, Stevie, thanks for coming by and sharing all that information with us. I'm sure you're keeping busy with 5 counties.
Yeah, trying to.
Goodness. We'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Global 3000, a DW production. Little things can have a huge impact throughout the world. The Globalization Magazine, Global 3000.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. Remember, the Hoggard Hyde Band on the Run 5K and Fun Run is March 30th at Hugh McCrae Park at 8:30 a.m. Also, you can call 910-794-4650 or check out ncazaleafestival.org to learn more about this year's Azalea Festival. And finally, if you want to learn more about the Disability Resource Center, please visit drc-cil.org. And if you ever have any questions about the topics that we discussed here on the show today, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4106 or check out the school system's website at www.scil.org. nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.